When it comes to counting calories, we don't believe in counting calories, but every once in a while we talk about why don't we count colors on our plate?
Wouldn't it make more sense, we have to talk about that, wouldn't it make more sense to count the colors on our plate than the calories?
Yeah, it makes so much more sense to us because you want bright, colorful things not only in your life but on your plate as well. So when we have bright, colorful fruits and veggies, our meals are much more whole and they're more nutritious when we have different colors, because when you have different colors they usually come from different food groups.
That's right. And I always like to think about each color of food has its own vitamins or its own nutrients specific to that color. So I like to think about how much nutrients I'm getting with how many colors I can fit in to that meal, right? So if I have orange and red and purple and green, it just makes me feel good because we're getting all of those vitamins and nutrients. If we're always having the same color over and over and over, then it's not variety for our bodies.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about different groups, for example, so like carbs are usually darker, like beige, for example,
Yeah.
like breads, for example, pastas, what else, right? Not like rices.
Brown.
Rices are like brown. So that's just carbohydrates, for example. And we're a fan of carbohydrates. We feel you should consume them. So we're not saying don't eat them, but then if you look at the veggie category, it's much different. So you have different bright, colorful areas. And then we can go to fats, like avocados, for example. They're all bright green. So from different categories, if you're looking at different types of colors in your food, you'll find all the macronutrients by being bright and colorful.
Mm-hmm. So it's another reason not just to be variety with colors, but making sure we have a complete meal to get all the colors in. So like Drew was saying, the brown comes from usually the carbohydrates, but then the fats we have colorful things like the avocados, but just making sure not only that we have all the colors, but all of the categories as well of the macronutrients.
That's right. So next time you are looking at your plate, make sure it's bright and colorful instead of trying to figure out how many calories are on your plate.
It's so much more beneficial of your time, I think, to spend counting the colors than the calories.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do we have a recipe?
Yes, we do. So it's a rainbow salad. So it pretty much is just taking your base of greens, and there's so many different greens, and we often encourage people to experiment with different greens instead of only having lettuce. Even in the lettuce category, there is so many different types of lettuce, so try and get adventurous and try different greens, different lettuce, spinach, arugula, what else?
Purple
Kale.
lettuce.
Like there's purple lettuce, yeah. So just try and have a nice base of a variety of different greens. And then you can get adventurous on the top and make the top of your salad rainbow. So you could have purple cabbage like grated for purple. You could have shredded carrots for orange, tomatoes for red, and sometimes we put in yellow pepper for yellow. What am I missing, Drew?
Well, then you could throw in, like, I'm not sure if you mentioned fats, like.
No, I didn't.
Like you could throw in fat. You can throw in avocados. It's bright green. It's similar to the color of lettuce or spinach, but you also have hemp seeds, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Those are beige, like a quinoa. We want you to throw a quinoa or a rice in there, but then you have the beige type of color,
Yeah.
which offers a different macronutrient.
Mm-hmm.
So if you throw in a bunch of different types of, like we were saying earlier, bunch of different colors, then you're going to hit all your macronutrients.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to touch on corn for a second because corn is yellow, which is a great color, but we need to make sure that we're getting a good quality of corn that is non-GMO corn. Right. So we like to add corn into our salads, but we always make sure that it's a GMO-free corn.
Try beans as well.
Oh, beans is a good one, yeah.
So beans, black beans, or your hummus that you like to throw
Oh,
on.
I love
Just
hummus.
chickpeas, and it's usually a beige type of color,
Yeah.
as carbohydrates are.
That's right.